Proposed ordinances. Oh, we are starting the streaming? Are we? Yeah, we can stream now. It's okay. The legal notice, Town of Southbury, notice of public hearing, proposed ordinance amendments. Notice is hereby given that the Southbury Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing on Thursday, June 16th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in room 205 of the Southbury Town Hall in accordance with section 305 of the Town Charter to hear comments on the proposed amendments to the waste management ordinance. Copies of the proposed ordinance are on file in the town clerk's office and also at www.southbury-ct.org. Jeffrey A. Manville, First Selectman, Justin Betty, Selectman, Jason Buxbaum, Selectman, John Deal, Selectman, Gregory Kuhn, Selectman, and Holly Sullivan, Selectman. So I guess next is we'll hear from our Public Works Director to explain what this is about, and then we'll have people come up if they have any comments on the changes to the ordinance.
Good evening. Thanks for having me up here today. I'm Jerry Lukowski, as Jeff said, the Director of Public Works. I do have 10 budgets, 5 operational and 5 capital budgets that I work with for the town. One of those budgets is the transfer station. The transfer station has a cost center is $1.1 million. For this year, 22-23, it's actually $1,115,204 as the total cost center. We did build in a 5% increase 6 months ago based on the estimated CPI, but who knew where we were going to be today with the CPI? It's currently at around 12 to 15% increase that we're going to have to pay, especially for the hauling cost. That is within the contract of Stone, who does the hauling for us. Just as a benchmark, 5 years ago, the cost center for the transfer station was $800,000. So that's about 30% increase over the past 5 years. And this year we could see upwards of 15%. Our waste, and these are some of the questions from 2 weeks ago, our waste, municipal solid waste, goes to Bridgeport, Wheelbrader, Incinerator. It's estimated to be 5,900 tons of waste, which is a cost of $87 a ton, $70 for tipping, and $17 for hauling. I did visit the plant in the late 80s when it was under construction when I was an engineering student, and also the early 90s when it was in operation. It's a pretty neat plant on how they incinerate the refuge and actually make electricity off of it. It's just off of 95, just to the south, and you could see the plant. Recycling goes to Shelton, Oak Ridge. It's based on 1,640 tons of recycling. That is $108 a ton, $85 for tipping, and $23 for hauling. That rate is adjustable, and it's based on the market economy for recyclables. Currently, right now, it's lower than that and getting lower for that at the time. But based upon the budget, that's what we calculated. One other smaller line item is our diesel line account for the transfer station alone is $7,000 a year for the payloader. We anticipate it's going to be about $15,000 to $20,000 because there's a lot of activity with the commercial residential waste of that payloader going up and down the hill. If we just had residential waste, it's really not going to be working as hard as it's working now. We'll probably be able to stay within the $7,000 budget. Some factors for the elimination of the commercial residential. One of them is sustainability, improving recycling for glass, cardboard, and kitchen waste. The other one is the First Selectmen and the Finance Director asked all managers for cost savings about 4 to 5 months ago, and this was one of the items that I brought up for cost savings for the town. The third item is equipment replacement. The trash compactor alone is 17 years old. It's at the end of the life cycle, and we hope to extend the life cycle by less use, just use for our residential waste. And also the payloader is at the end of its life cycle that you see running around the transfer station. And also this is for the residents who use the transfer station. They'll have a quicker experience at the transfer station on getting in and getting out. there'll be a reduction of risk with that payloader that's running around up and down the hill all the time, and also for the sustainability for the residents. And besides, we're the only ones left, one of the only ones. I'm sure we could find a town, to the east or local, but I know Greenwich, Darien, and Litchfield recently got out of their commercial residential waste. Just on the amount of trucks that are coming in, there's probably 1,000 trucks. We've been calculating it for the past 6 months that come into our yard. It's about 20 per week, and primarily 3 haulers, USA, Oak Ridge, and the Southbury Training School. The predominant one, though, is USA. They probably have 2/3 of those 1,000 trucks that come in. The agreement was made many decades ago, and I think the basis of the agreement was forgotten as the decades went by, as the haulers were being consolidated, Copes, Springer, USA, and basically from different surveys that we have done and help that we got from the Sustainability Committee, is all of the surrounding towns are paying basically the same rate. And we don't see a break for the residents in Southbury. And the other thing is the cost, no matter what, is going to go up for any type of services, especially for the refuge industry, which is really based on diesel and moving stuff around and getting it to the right points in the state. And we also heard indirectly through Heritage that their contract is locked in for a few amount of years. So they don't necessarily have concerns where Heritage is going to go up because they don't have the tipping location for Southbury. And just one other side note is we are going to have resident stickers. We're going to start to issue them on the 1st of July. And if you do have a in-town license or in-town registration for your car, you'll get it at the transfer station. If it's an out-of-town registration, you're going to have to come to town hall for further scrutiny for that. This should probably be announced today or tomorrow. We're going to put it out. And we might have a soft start at the transfer station just to get it going and making sure we have all the muscle moves of how to issue a sticker. So I could go on about the topic forever, but I'll leave it at that point if there's any questions or answers or things you want to ask me.
Okay, if some questions come up, we'll do it when we discuss it at the, if you could hang with us until we get it on the agenda.
One thing, you mentioned Heritage Village's contract, so they have a contract with a hauler that's, it's a multi-year contract, so their price is set.
Correct. I don't have the exact details. I do know it's multi-years. It's been in place. And it is USA that picks up their municipal solid waste as well as their recycling.
Okay, is there anybody else who would like to speak in for or against the changes to the proposed ordinance? You can pull that down a little bit, Chuck. Thank you.
Thanks. I needed that help. My name is Rich Boritz. I am from Heritage Village, and I'm glad to learn that the tipping fee for Heritage Village isn't going to change. What they have done is they have changed the pickup schedule so that we now have recycling once a week. It used to be every other week. So, I mean, that's a big change, and it used to accumulate. And twice a week we have our trash picked up. And I just want to add one thing. So it seems to work fine. I mean, we have a good deal there for getting our trash hauled away. But there's one thing I think may be considered. I saw that we have 2 restaurants going into, through Sustainable Southbury, a composting of food scraps. And I think that that would also lower the cost of trash hauling here in town, because that curbcompost.org company will take that from residents' homes and from the restaurants before it goes to the transfer station. So that'll be a significant savings, and I think that's something that the town would benefit from if it were looked into and followed up.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the public would like to comment?
I have a quick question.
You,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Chuck will go then,
Did not see it.
but you're gonna, go ahead. Thanks, Chuck.
So I'm Chuck Liddy. I'm part of Sustainable Southbury. I was the founder of Sustainable Southbury. I'm also the chair of the Energy Task Force in town. And, I think removing commercial haulers or regulating commercial haulers, highly regulating them, provides an opportunity for, we've been helping Jerry study this a little bit, and it provides an opportunity for us to control our costs as waste costs continue to go up. We think they're going to be under considerable pressure in the future. And it also helps us improve the sustainability. So it's a real win-win opportunity, right? We'll have less focus on commercial haulers and trying to manage them. We'll improve traffic flow. It's going to give us an opportunity to begin separating our trash, our waste stream, which is really key to us being able to control our costs going in the future and to improve our sustainability. It's a real win-win. And what I mean by that is cardboard. We want to be able to start to separate cardboard. Stanford has already done this, and they've turned it from a cost to a revenue stream. We went on a tour and we talked with them of a number of transfer stations. And it's easier to recycle if it's already separated. So it's worth more, right? And they'll even, there's people that will come and get it. Maybe we have an opportunity to get other businesses to contribute cardboard, and maybe, I don't know. But I don't know how feasible that is, but it's a nice idea. Glass is another opportunity for us. It's heavy. It breaks, it pollutes, it contaminates the waste stream. And it's about 4% typically. There's a company right up in Beacon Falls. It's part of ONG. It's called Urban Mining. They take that powder, they take that glass and they grind it up to a very fine powder, and they put it in with a cement mix. And that helps reduce the environmental costs, the huge environmental cost of creating cement. A lot of carbon from all the high temperatures that are required to cure the cement and process it. And I was just talking with Jerry. I found out that during the state pilot program that ONG will, Oak Ridge will do the hauling for free back and forth. So that's another reason to consider doing that. And as been mentioned before, I think food waste, typically about 20% of the waste stream, is another opportunity. It's heavy, it's wet. Once again, haulers will come and get it. There are several towns that in the Fairfield County and the surrounding area that are already doing this. They've studied the problem. They have bins that lock to keep the animals out. It's a very compact sort of operation. It only requires 2 or 3 parking spaces to put up these bins for the haulers to come once a week and pick them up. And so you could put it in the low volume part of the transfer station on that S-curve, right? So we have some ideas that we've been batting around with Jerry on how that rearrangement might work. So all in all, that's a healthy portion, and that's really the key way we're going to help manage our costs and improve our sustainability, is by being able to separate out our waste stream and react to it as the markets change.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah,
Thank you for the work you're doing. Carol, would you like to come up?
I would.
You're invited.
Thank you. Thank you. My name's Carol Winship. So, recycling. The separation is not new to us. We did it for many, 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 many years before single streaming took place. So that ended our separation of newspapers and cardboard, which were going to China. We were happy to see it go. We separated glass and we separated all of our metal. So this is not a new idea. We did it for many, many, many years. And so far as the food idea, is this an okay time to talk about this food streaming?
Yeah, I mean.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
So my big concern is what's gonna happen. It's gonna encourage a lot of wildlife. It's certainly gonna encourage a lot of bear. And, is this, box thing going to be at the transfer station for food? Where will it be?
We haven't figured that out yet,
Oh, okay.
so
Contamination, virus,
that'll all be
all of
considered,
that
yeah.
has to be considered. Has any money, ARPA money, been used for town works at all?
Some money has been, yeah, I don't know what specifically.
Okay, so that's money that we weren't spending because it was ARPA money. So could we please talk about the possibility of reintroducing a bulky waste day for the citizens? We used to have it twice a year, then it got reduced to once a year, and then it just plain disappeared. So if we saved a good amount of money with ARPA, can we at least talk about reintroducing bulky waste day
All right,
for the taxpayers?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll consider it,
Okay.
okay.
So the last time I was here, I brought up this other subject about losing the trees at exit 14
So we'll save that for the public comment,
on the other public comment.
when we go in.
Okay, then that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else who'd like to speak for or against the changes to the?
Hi, Tom Connor. I just want to comment a little bit about the comment just made about the recycling. I think the economics of recycling has changed dramatically over the last 10 years, and the single stream recycling was actually a profit center maybe 10 years ago, but in part because of all the things that have happened, it's not anymore, and it's going to probably get worse. And so, I mean, I think beyond all the kind of sustainability advantages, and Chuck and I have looked into all that, that this, that's some of these things that we've talked about really are going to help give us opportunities in terms of managing our costs as well as the sustainability advantage, including the separating out the waste stream and the recycling pieces.
Thank you, Tom. Would anybody else like to speak at the public hearing?
Shay Brown, Bagley Road. So I second that everything that Chuck and Tom said. I think it's going to save a lot to get rid of the haulers and then look at the ways that we can make money from cardboard, glass down the road. I know I home compost a lot. I actually did a little experiment. I have like a little 5-pound stainless steel pail, and I put all my food scraps in there. And I think in a period of like 8 months, I probably saved 200 pounds of just food scraps, like food waste. And that's just, home compost. I know a lot of people have yards, farms, gardens, all that. There's just, on top of the campaign that we can do with the haulers to come in and help with that, we can do it at home, and that would save, money, save weight at the transfer station and do all that. So, you guys can work with the nonprofits that you're allied with in town, and obviously, we just got certified bronze with Sustainable Connecticut, and that was held with Sustainable Southbury and all the other nonprofits. So I'm in favor of getting rid of them, and I second everything that everyone said before. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara Donahue, Lakeside Road, and I just wanted to let you know I'm here in support of the ordinance to get rid of commercial haulers, mostly from a cost savings, and a resident of Southbury that uses the transfer station weekly. The wall is falling down. They don't have bathroom facilities there for the workers. there's a lot of work that should be done at the transfer station, and this will be a very obvious savings very quickly if the commercial haulers, just like Woodbury and Middlebury, have disallowed them. You'll see the savings very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public that'd like to speak on the proposed ordinance change? Going once? Going twice? And nobody else is coming up. I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Can I have a second? Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Public hearing is closed. Okay. Next up is the actual Southbury Board of Selectmen regular meeting agenda, June 16th of 2022. I will call the meeting to order at 7:21. Can we have the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have no presentation. It was just left on to the agenda. Can we have public comment limited to 2 minutes? Is there anybody who'd like to make? Come on up. No, you could be first.
So a while back, I had made the statement that it was my understanding that we're going to lose a lot of really lovely trees at exit 14 across from the commuter parking lot in front of Maggie McFly's. Due to the reconstruction that's going to happen at that exit, at that corner intersection. And I think I had asked if anyone here or if the board could look at this proposal to see if maybe we can come up with some idea that would save the trees at that intersection. And has anybody thought about that? Or looked into it?
Give me a call.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment?
Yeah, I want to say one thing. If you really want to save the bees, don't mow your lawn. For at least May and June. Because you know, in the spring it started with half a dozen, now I have literally hundreds and hundreds.
Okay. Okay, we'll close the public comment section. You have your announcements and correspondence in front of you. Your reports for the different departments. And we'll move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Made and seconded. You got that down? Jason made the motion, Greg Kuhn seconded. Okay, if you need help, let us know. Not a problem. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Jeff, I'm going to abstain. Our firm has a direct financial interest in the referral from land use.
Okay, that's okay. So noted, an abstention by Justin Betty. The motion carries. Bids and procurements, Flood Bridge and Heritage Road Bridge. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
And Justin Betty seconded. Holly made a motion, Justin seconded. Can we have a discussion on it?
I have a question for Jerry or for you. The overall bid is lower for someone else, but I understand from the memo, we're looking at the base bid and then the alternate separately, so I'm just curious the rationale.
Yeah, so the way it was advertised, that base bid was gonna be what we were gonna award the bid to. The other bidder is extremely low in his alternates, and it's also a performance issue. But just alone by how we advertised that base bid was gonna be the low bid.
So the RFP
The RF
included that.
included that clause.
Okay.
Because when you're starting to do alternates, you could turn it many different ways, and I'm glad we only had 2 alternates for that. So it's Lawrence Bernelli, we met with him earlier this week in anticipation that it passes tonight, and they're ready to go, so.
I think that there's gonna be like 90 days, right?
It's gonna be 90 days. They're looking at August, September, October, but we're planning to get the documentation done a lot faster. So it's probably gonna be about 2 to 3 weeks left shift. So we'll probably be completed in early October.
That's our plan.
That's our plan.
Any other questions of Jerry?
Thanks,
Okay,
Jerry.
any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions, and it carries. Minutes of June 2nd, 2022, regular meeting. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Justin will second it. Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And it carries. Okay, Catherine, could you bring up the ordinance under waste management? I think you can, there you go. That was it. Just the amendment, the resolution. Okay, do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Justin Betty seconded. Any discussion?
I just want to thank everyone that came out and participated and presented their viewpoints and rationale and arguments tonight. It's always nice when people engage and come talk to us, so thank you for that.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? It carries. One comment I do need to make is that we're gonna send to the town attorney for review of the training school garbage and get an opinion from him on whether it's going to be considered residential. They're kind of up against it because they don't have a contract going someplace. It's only 1.5 tons to 2 tons a week at 87, so we're gonna get an opinion from and it should be getting smaller over time. But just to let you know, we're gonna get an opinion and we'll hear from the attorney on that. Okay, that passed. Nothing on the Community Relations Task Force at this point. It's been kind of busy. Under new business, we don't have anything. Selectmen's report. You may have heard, you have my report in your pamphlet, in your stuff. Today was the first day of the farmer's market. Interviews are continuing on the positions that are open, and we hope to have at the next meeting some people to hire. We'll move on to reports from liaisons. Justin?
Economic Development met last night. I was not able to attend, but I have a report from Kevin. Main action that was taken was the creation of the Arts and Culture Subcommittee. And they are going to try and come talk to us as early as our next meeting and tell us what they're trying to do. And they moved the date for the dog parade to September 17th. IPOC met 2 weeks ago. You saw the flash reports. Obviously, the markets are doing things. They're doing negative things. And we did adjust some of our exposures in the appropriate fashion to mitigate some of the risk there. Strategic plan commission met last week, and they discussed a couple different things, including the group trying to work with the training school, St. Michael's, and they are between the last meeting and the next meeting considering the projects that they're working on and whether or not they should be considering other projects to work on, because some of them, like affordable housing, now have significant traction with the town already. So we are likely to hear from them in the next couple of weeks about coming to talk to us about what they've done and what they would like to do moving forward. And that's
Okay.
what I got.
Thank you. Selectman Bucksbaum.
The library board met last week. Couple things. The Friends had a very successful half-price book sale, raised over $11,000 just with that. Hugh Sullivan's going to be doing some design work for the pergola area. They're gearing up, I guess the big thing now, for the summer reading program, which is always a successful program for our students and young people in the town, and are, gathering up sponsors and whatnot for various prizes and things like that. So if anyone's interested in sponsoring any baskets, reach out to Shirley Thorson. They're continuing to work on getting pricing and whatnot for an audio upgrade at the Kingsley Room. From the movie night they had, that they've upgraded the projector and the video, and now they're working on the audio. And the other thing they're doing is periodically throughout the year, they go through all their policies and update them. And they went through a process over the last couple of meetings of updating their meeting rooms policy, which was adopted at the last meeting. And that's it. The other boards I'm on did not meet since our last meeting.
Selectman Sullivan.
So the Board of Ed had a meeting on Monday night. Certainly at the end of the year, there's lots of celebration. Kids are just about done. So they, let's see, there's one more full day of school and just a half day of school on Monday. So lots of awards and recognition, particularly student recognition for various leadership awards and athletic awards. There was also recognition of those that are retiring. There was a presentation regarding the audit, approval of minutes, curriculum, and those general business as usual items. And my understanding is that the next meeting will not be until September 12th, but I'll get back to you if that's incorrect, but that's my understanding.
Okay. Next is the executive session, discussion on performance of our Southbury representatives. What's that? Oh, I forgot.
I was like,
I had you all checked off. Sorry, Greg.
That's okay, it's a quick report, so.
Go ahead.
Senior Services was supposed to meet yesterday, that meeting got canceled, so we look forward to the next meeting to report on. And Energy Task Force meets next Tuesday, so we'll have something to report on the next meeting. That's all I got, thank you.
Okay. Next up is to enter into executive session to discussion on performance of our Southbury representatives on the health district. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session at 7:35.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for the stated purpose. Are we inviting people into executive session or not?
We don't have to.
Right. Do we want to make the motion that we invite them so that when we're talking, if we want them to come in, we think they can?
Okay. So,
Can you give me the name? I know Mr. Hunter and Dr. Nee, is that?
Dr. Nee and Mr. Hunter are here.
So we'll invite them in for purposes of the motion so that if we want to communicate with them during that time, we can.
So the motion will be to enter into executive session, discussion on performance of our Southbury representatives on the health district, and inviting the Dr. Nee and Mr. Hunter in as needed to discuss any issues. That's the motion. Do I have a motion? Craig?
Motion to
Thank you. Justin, second? All in favor? Aye. We're in executive session at 7:35.